Hey everyone, it is Natalie from Being Intentionally Creative. And as many of you know, I tend to tape my videos ahead of time. So I'm taping this early in the morning because I couldn't sleep and I knew I needed to get this video up. We are still dealing with, oh my God, the weather here is crazy. We're getting storm after storm and we're expecting, we've had 2 already, and we've got what they say will be 2 more events coming through where I live, and I seriously need the snow to stop. I have to admit, I love that I can work from home, so I don't have to be out in the roads, because I really feel for some of the people, like where I am, it's very windy, and when it gets bad out, it gets bad. And what's happening right now is the snow we're getting is, it's not light fluffy snow, it's the stuff that packs. It packs, it's wet, it's heavy, and yeah, I kind of need winter to, maybe January will be the worst of it, and then we can get into February and sort of start getting into nicer weather. That's my hope anyway. I thought I'd just give you a brief update on what's going on in my world. Okay, we are going to do a Mix2Mold piece in this video. I'm using all the Mix2Mold product. I'm using their pigments. I'm using the yellow, the purple, and the magenta. So here's what the plan is, because I kind of want to get a bit of a tie-dye effect, and I want to do some layering. And I know when I do layering with Mix2Mold, I'm going to have to let the first layer set up before I put the second layer on, because with me anyways, what I have found is that if I try and do a second layer, then it kind of messes up the first layer. What my plan is initially is just to fill in the circles on this and just go up to the level of the top of this. I do have another mold set to the side if I need it. I've made up 60 grams, 60 mils so far. I have my Mix2Mold behind me. If I have to mix some more, I will. Or, you know what, we'll see how far it takes us, and maybe it'll be enough that I won't mix any up. And then what I want to do is I want to let it sit for, I'm going to let it sit for an hour, maybe 2. And then I'm going to use these 3 colors again, and then we're going to do it again. I kind of want to, like I said, I want to get a tie-dye effect. I want a different design. I don't want it all the same. And what I might also do is, you've seen me use those little pieces in the center before for pouring the Mix2Mold through. I might go and grab one of those for doing the top as well. So we'll have to see how that goes. But let's start. Let's hope the 60 mils is going to be enough to, you know, give us a good base in here. We'll let it set up for an hour, maybe 2. And then I'll come back and I'll finish it up. So basically what I want to do is I just want to mix up my Mix2Mold, and then I am going to put in the pigments and then swirl it around. So I guess I should have something to do my swirling with. I think I'll just use one of my brushes. I just use the end of a paintbrush here. That'll work for me. I always have extra water beside me in case I need it. And I am going to use this mixer, and you should be impressed that I actually have my Lazy Susan here that I can move it around and tap it, because I really want to just keep it in there. So we'll have to see how this works out for me today. And let's get the lids off of these so that they're all ready to go. Yeah, I got up way too early this morning. I am seriously tired. But I thought all I was doing was rolling around in bed, and I thought, I'm done. I can't do this. I can't just roll around in bed. I could, but it gets tiring after that gets more tiring after a while. And I thought, well, I have a video I need to do, so let's just get up and do it. So I don't know if anyone else out there experiences that, but oh, honestly, I can't remember the last time I slept through the night, like right from start to finish. Now, I'm not sure I'm going to have enough here. So I think what I might do, it looks pretty low in amounts. So I think what I'll do, as I'm making noise, I think I'm going to add another scoop of Mix2Mold to that. Again, it's one of those things, I'd rather have more than I need than not enough, and I don't think I have enough in here. So I just brought over the container and I'm just randomly throwing it in now. Mix it up and see how we... I really do like the mixers as opposed to just using something that can't mix it up as well. I just find these mixers really do a good job. Okay, I think I want a little bit more water in that. I know I have some pigment, and they say to adjust when you're doing this, because you're adding pigment, to adjust the amount of water. Okay, we'll do this. If this isn't enough, that's okay. That'll be okay. If I have to do sort of 3 layers, I can do 3 layers. It's not a big deal to me. All right, so let's get this out of here, I guess. And then we'll just put a couple of drops of each color in. Well, that looks really pretty right now. And then we'll just stir it up. I'm hoping the purple doesn't overtake things too much. That's my hope. So hopefully you can see that, and then we'll start pouring. So this is when I'll admit a lazy Susan or something like that you can move around really comes in handy, just to get things where you want them to go. Yeah, I don't know how. It's kind of interesting because I figured the colors I was using would be good ones to have. But I'm almost thinking that the purple and the yellow aren't really playing well together, and I would have thought they would have. But this is convenient to have this. Okay, I think we're good enough on that. I don't have a lot left, but I'm just going to put it into this one, and I'm going to pour it around the sides as well. There, it met up. That's brilliant. It's not quite enough for this second one I've got, and this second one I'm just going to end up dropping, but let's move this one around. Yes, it doesn't look like a very nice color, does it? Oh well, that's okay, because we know what we can always paint it or do something funky to it if it doesn't turn out, you know, pretty as I was hoping it might. And let me just move these off to the side. Just want to make sure that one's okay. Yeah, I don't want to try and lift that one. But what I might do, if I hit it harder, I'm getting some of the purple moving out. And I've got something in this here at the side, which I don't really want in. So we'll get rid of that little. Okay, I'll stop beating it up now. Okay, so we'll leave this now, as I say, for at least an hour, because I want to make sure this sets up nicely. I don't want it bubbling at all when I put the next coat on it. We'll use the same colors again, and hopefully, oops, so I just threw that under my table. Don't you love when you do that? You're trying to talk to people and a piece goes flying. Oh, come on. Anyway, so we'll let that sit. We will use the same colors again. Maybe what I'll do the next time, though, is I will put a color in, swirl it around a little bit, and then put the next color in, swirl it around. So maybe we get a little bit nicer mix of colors and the purple, and I'll be very careful and maybe only put 1 drop of the purple in because it's a very strong color. Anyway, when I am ready for the next, I'll be back. Okay, this has been sitting for about 2 hours now. We're just shy of 2 hours. I went and got one of these little units that we're going to put in the center here when we do our next part of the pour, and we might do in the small one too if I have any left over. I'm actually making up 120 mils of it this time, and I'm thinking to myself, well, I have another mold over here if I overdo it, or I have one further over that I can get my hands on if I need to. I just thought, let's make 120 mils of this and go from there. Alrighty, so let's do this. Again, as I mentioned this time, I'm just going to mix it up, and then I'll put 1 color in and kind of swirl that color around a little bit, and then put another color in. I'm going to try not to do it too much because we don't want it muddy, but at the same time I want to see if I can't get more definition in it with the colors. Now I could break them all down and then do, you know, 1 color and then another, but because of how I did the first, I want to keep that momentum going. And when you're working with this stuff, remember that you want to mix it really, really well so you don't have any lumps and bumps in it. That's why I like using this mixer, because it helps to break them up, and I'm not so sure sometimes if just using like a stir stick or something like that, if you really can get it all broken up or mixed in really well, I guess. So while I've been waiting to do this, I was sitting upstairs in the dark enjoying a cup of coffee. It's still dark out. I said I was up early. Maybe we'll use this one this time when we put our colors in. So let's start with, I'm just going to do 1 drop of the purple because the purple's really strong. And then we'll just up and down and up and down. I'm just lifting my mixer up and down. Get that, I don't want that in my hand. I'm going to put a couple of drops of yellow in. Try not to mix it too much, and maybe, well, we'll do 2 of the pink. I like the pink color too. Okay, we'll see what this does. Alrighty. Yeah, we're not getting much of a difference in color, are we? That's kind of unfortunate. I think this is going to be a little plain Jane. Lift that up. Now I have obviously some left over in here, so I'm just going to get that. I'm going to put some drops in here. Some extra drops because I really don't have much of a coloring going on here, and I'm just going to swirl this time and see what this does. That seemed to help a little bit, and I'm not sure if you can see this from where it is. And I don't have enough for this, but that's okay. It was just the leftover. So let's get that out of there. It's flowing over the sides, so that's not a bad thing. Let's knock this around a little bit, because I do have some bubbles coming up. Now, the bubbles may be coming up a little bit too because of the, yeah, just give me a second. Because of the stuff that's already there. I'm going to work at getting rid of that. I just, yeah, I don't know. Get rid of that air bubble. Let's see if I can. My lighter might do a better job. Okay, so this one's a little more boring than the other one. So we may have to decorate this up a little bit, I'm thinking. And I do have an idea for that, but okay, so this is where we're at. Move this over the side. This came out nicer doing what I did, swirling it around. So that's an option for next time, is just swirl it around. Now the air bubbles, I'm guessing I'm getting because of, like, I figured 2 hours to let this sit might be enough time for what was around that we've poured first, but maybe not. Not sure what I'm going to do with this one. I may just pour some white over top of it. So I think the swirling around actually helped, like just doing this with my cup, because it mixed the colors in. So that's something to keep in mind yourself for moving forward. This one isn't going to have as much color as I'd hoped it was going to be, but again, you know, we play, we see what we can do. So now I'm going to let this sit for another, you know, couple hours before I come back to it. As I say, I have an idea. If it's not as colorful as I would like it to be, which I'm not really expecting it is going to be, I do have an idea. I was going through some stuff last night, so I do have an option for this one, and we can have a look at that when the time comes to take it out. So as usual, we'll sit and we'll let this cure up. All right, it's been another 2 hours of letting things set. Guess I can get rid of my Lazy Susan for right now. And what I did, I've got some tattoos out, and I've got some other things I want to show you that we might be able to do, because I'm not thinking this one is going to be as colorful as I thought. This one, which was the one I wasn't, like, was the extras, I'm not going to take it out right now. I want to put some more in, but it definitely has a pattern on it, which is really kind of cool. So I'll have to finish that one up offline. We can flip this one over. Okay. So I think these are going to be really cool. It's the inside, but we're not without hope on being able to do something with it. Remember when you use Mix2Mold, and then if you want to use the mold for resin, to make sure you clean it out really well, soap and water, because you don't want any of the residue getting on your resin, which it will. And it also will dull down the resin piece itself. I've had that happen to me. That's why I'm suggesting to make sure you clean it out properly. So this is what it looks like. Now, as much as there's not a lot of decoration in there, the sides look nice. Now, what I am noticing, and this may be because I jiggled this around, but there is, how well again can you see it? Sort of these, I would say, white spots on here, and that could be from me knocking it about, which may be not a good thing to do. Maybe I should have just left it and poured it. I'm just wondering. Yeah, I can kind of wipe that off. Give me a second, because I want to try something. I might be able to clean that up. So I'm just taking one of my little micro brushes. Some of this I might be able to clean up. I'm just wondering. because I'd like to get it off of there, because this part I like. It actually turned out better than I thought it was going to. So yeah, this is pushing some off. Now I still have water over here, so let's see what happens if I put some water on this and then see if I can get some of this off. Is this a good idea? I'm not 100% sure. See, no, it's not taking that off. Some of it is. And I'm just wondering if it would be a worthwhile endeavor to go around it and I don't, like, scrape off what I can. And I almost wonder about using my X-Acto knife, but I don't know how good of a job I'd be able to do with using that. But I like the fact that I'm able to get it off. That's kind of cool. Now let me get one of my brushes to brush some of that out of there. The dust. I guess it's almost like sanding, isn't it? Yeah, so we can get some of it off. I don't know. Put that in there. How my X-Acto knife. I mean, if you did this, you'd want to be really careful doing this, because you don't want to mess up or take any of the other out. So yeah, it's probably okay to do it because it's still somewhat damp. I'm not sure how much of this you can see me doing. Yeah, so I lift it right up. There you go. Let's let me get a little bit of this done and then I'll show it to you. So nice to know you can use your X-Acto knife. I'd be really gentle doing that though, so you don't get, you know, any, you know, chunks out of the stuff you want to keep. Let me clean up just a little bit more and then I'll show you. I feel like, oh, this reminds me of cleaning teeth. Not that I've ever been a dental hygienist, but just the sound of it. Okay. And if you miss some little pieces, it probably wouldn't matter all that much because it might blend in. But I'm going to want to get, since it's coming off, I'm going to spend time and get as much of this stuff off as possible. So it stopped snowing, but it's very windy outside now. We have what's called, well, you probably have it down. Well, wherever you are, we have the Weather Network, which gives us an update on what the weather's doing and what's going to be doing and blah, blah, blah. And I'm not always so sure they're right up to date with what they share with us, but what I had seen before I came down here was that we have wind gusts up to 66 or 67 kilometers an hour. I have no idea what that is in miles per hour. But it's windy up here and it's supposed to be like that most of the day. So take into consideration that when you see this video, what I'm talking about is the day before. Although they're still calling for more storms, so who knows what the day of this video is going to actually bring. Okay. So let me just get this one little last one done and then I'll show you. But do it carefully and take your time doing this. All right. It's not perfect, but when you look here and see what it looks like in these different spots in here, and then we come over here. I mean, I've missed a couple of spots, and I'll have to go back and I'll put my closer up glasses on it, but not bad, not bad. So let's just put this down. I'll show you. So I had a couple of ideas, and I was looking through the tattoos before I even started this, but I also have some others. So, I mean, we could see about putting something like that on. I pulled out different things that we could put on, and I may just, you know, sort of, well, I should clean it up first and then do a tattoo in the middle of this, not the other way around, just because I don't want to chance messing up the tattoos if I go with one of them. So just let me show you what I've pulled out. And that's a really pretty color, but it might be a little too big. Now this one might work really nicely because of the colors in it. They sort of, well, there's not really any yellow in this one, but that would probably fit in. So let me just cut that one down. I haven't put a tattoo on anything for a while. I was almost going to start putting them on myself. But so if we did something like that in the middle, that would be pretty. Now the other thing I pulled out, so let's keep that one there. And I'll put these guys off the side because I do like that. I also have stickers that we might potentially be able to use. And I got these from Temu, and I haven't used them on anything yet. I don't think, because I think those are Christmas related. Just give me all right. I just want to see what's in this little packet. And I think these guys are going to be too small anyway. Okay, I thought these might be Christmas, but they're not. But I'm just thinking, like, even if I put, yeah, these are a little too small for this. Oh, that's cute. Oh, the bear's cute. I like the fox too, but this little bear's cute. Now, unless what I did was do a little bit of junk journaling around him somehow, but he's cute. So those guys are kind of small. So just put them back in there. So let me show you some of what I've got by bending this back so I can. So we have butterflies. I'm a huge butterfly fan, for anyone who doesn't already know that. Like, even if you took something big like that. So let's take that out and just see how it looks. So you could do something like that. A little dull. A little dull. I feel like I'd have to do something up and around it. Let's put you back in there. I don't know if one of these guys might. Now, definitely, you know, putting something in the middle there, I would want to seal it. Obviously, I'd want to seal this. Okay, what else have I got in here? I think, oh, the only other thing I have in here is these doilies, and I'm not sure how I would use these. Nope. That's not working for me whatsoever. Okay, so give me a second. That's all that's in that one. But in this one, I've got some cool looking things. And I'm trying to think whether I got these off of Amazon or Temu. I think it's one or the other. So these ones in here, these are really pretty. I'll pull a couple out and we'll have a look. And they show you on the back what you get with it. So what I liked about this arrangement of packets was the different colors and also the different scenes that they had on them. Like if you were going for something like this is totally the wrong colors, but if you really want a contrast, we'll have a look at that one. The purple, that would obviously go. And then before we get into, so well, you know what? Let's not before we get into. So if I were to take one of these, and they're stickers, I think I might have mentioned that. Oh, that's cute. Oops, I got just one there. Yeah, you're a little too big. That one's too big. I mean, you could always see about, I could try cutting it down with something like that on there. The cat might be fun. Okay, something like that. We've got a train. This tree might be neat. Okay. Then I want to go on. I want to look at some of these other ones I have because these might be really fun. I know that'll come up. Have to do this now without scraping the inside. Oh, that might be pretty in there. So something like that. I don't mind that. Don't mind that. There you go. Okay, we'll keep that out as a possibility. Now, I'm not sure if these will work. They might, something like that. I'm just going to put it on the edge there so I have an easier time pulling it back up. Put that down, put these back in. I stopped to use my X-Acto knife because I want you to get the full effect of that. I don't mind that. As much as the colors are a little different than what, you know, we've got going on here. I think the nice thing about this is that I can do something like this because my colors are so muted. Oh, don't you love when you start looking through this stuff and then you go, oh yeah, great. So there's another one. There's another idea for it. I think that's a little too small. I don't think it quite takes up enough space. I think that one's wrong for this. And the other ones I have, I think might be, some of these might be a little too big. And I almost feel like some of them I would really want to build up around. Yeah, not those. A witch's broom. Oops. I think I'd gotten that in there. Now I don't know. Is that supposed to be there? Oh yeah, it is. No, I'm not thinking that either. I've got some witch's hats here, but no. Nope, not really liking any of those. Yeah, be careful. I've dug into mine already a couple of times. An owl. like that. Again, it's going to be totally up to what you're wanting to accomplish. Like what kind of vibe are you going for? All right, these might be cute too. So it's cute, but it'd need more around it. It's not quite got enough there. Yeah, see, if these were a little bit bigger, I think they would work better. All right, so let's get those back in. I'm going to go back and look at, so we found the one in the purple. I don't see that working. What about one of these guys? Ooh, that would look cool. If this weren't so small, something like that would be really neat. Ooh, that might look cool. Yeah, there's some beautiful stamps here. Like, they're just so cool. Something like that. I know it may seem really unique and different, but I like that too. Okay, so let's forget about the choo-choo chain. We'll put that one back because I don't want to really add any more ideas to the realm of this. So let me take that up because I think this car looks really cool. So that looks really cool. I think the tree looked really nice too because it's so vibrant. So there's that. And I do like this tattoo, but I don't think I like it as much anymore now that I've been looking at these. So let's put it back on. I think the rose has got to go. I don't think that's going to work for me. It is very pretty. I mean, it would look really nice in this, but I'm getting a vibe with one of those two. So let me put my tattoo off to the side. Yeah, I'm not thinking that rose now. So that looks really nice because it's so vibrant. I think it's going to be that one because I like the vintage look to that. I like the vintage look to that. I'm kind of disappointed. I've got a little air bubble down here. That's kind of annoying, but that's okay. We'll get past that, won't we? Because I have no way of fixing that. So let me put you back in where you belong. Yeah, I think I got you out of there. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with that vintage car because, well, one, I like vintage cars, and two, I think it's a nice color for it. All right. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish cleaning up around the edges here. And then I'm going to put this down. And then I'll bring you back. And as far as putting resin on, obviously I've got to let this sit for a good 24 to 48 hours to let this completely dry out. Oh, come on. Oh, the challenges of it all. Okay. So I'll have to let that before I put any resin on the inside of it. And then maybe, you know, as far as sealing this goes, I'll just, I'll either use the Mix2Mold gloss, and I might, and you know what, I might leave that matte. I think that might look kind of cool if I were to do this as glossy and then do that matte. And I'll use 2-part epoxy in that. I won't use UV. Again, I want something that's going to really adhere well to it. And the nice thing too about this guy is that when I put it in the middle, you're not going to see those dots anymore, which is kind of cool. And I know the resin will fill in that little hole. I'll make sure it does. Okay, so let me just go clean this up, and then we'll stick that down, and then, and then we'll have a look at it. All right. Now, before you get thinking anything, what has she done? You know what I'm like. I get looking at something and I change it. So we have our car in the center of this now. Why did I add what I added around it? And I added it with UV resin because I know I'm going to be putting a coat of 2-part epoxy on top of this. I did that because I wanted to draw your attention to the center, to the car. I found when I was looking at it, the car is beautiful. I love it. I didn't feel like your eyes were drawn to it. So I felt that putting the colored stones around it actually draw you into the center of it versus it being there, but maybe not being there, if you get my drift on that one. So I like that I've done this. I was looking at just putting purple around it, and I thought, no, the colored stones draw my attention. And, and if you can imagine it when you're looking at it, I know the stones are there, but because of them, my eyes are actually drawn to the car more. I don't know about you, but that's what's happening with me. Now, the other thing I wanted to show you, because I talked about doing the 2-part epoxy in the center, which would give it a glossy look. And I wiped down the outside. Hopefully this still got enough moisture in it with my wet wipe. But just in case you're ever trying to figure out whether or not you want to use a glossy or a matte or a satin on, I just wiped over these because I wanted to get the sand. I did the back of this. I sanded down the back of this, and because when I was wiping it off, and then I went around here so I could wipe these off, and I found that let me get it. It's not quite as damp as it was. Yeah, it's not really showing you. Okay, give me a second. Let me get another one. They dry out. I'm amazed by how fast these things dry out. All right, this will give you a better effect. Okay, so it gives you an idea of what it would look like if you put a gloss on the outside. You may be able to imagine this on your own without doing this, but it was just interesting because when I did this, I thought, ooh, this might actually look nice, glossy. So I'm sort of at a bit of a quandary right now whether I do it matte, satin, or glossy. I think I might stick with doing it either matte or satin, again, so that you go towards the inside of it versus the outside of it. Now, am I done messing around with this? Yeah, maybe, maybe not. But anyway, this is where we're going to end it. As I usually do with some of my other videos, I will get this all done and then do a show and tell in my next video, because I should have this all done, because obviously now I need to let it set, dry out completely before I go any further. I'm not worried about having the sticker on it or these stones with UV resin on it, because I know there's plenty of space around this and on the back, because I'm going to put it on my cookie rack for it to, you know, dry out. So I'm not concerned about that at all. I'll work on getting the 2-part epoxy on the inside, and then I will decide about the outside. Now I've got all kinds of different things that I can, you know, potentially put on this, but I don't think, you know what, I think I'm going to keep the center glossy and the outside either a satin or a matte, just to give it some more contrast. And maybe I'll have this one done as well, and can show you how that ultimately turns out. But again, I want to put another coat on the back of that, whether that is a resin. No, I don't think I'll do resin. I think I will do another layer of the Mix2Mold on that one and then see how I can decorate it up. But that's where we're at. As I say, stay tuned for my next video. Fingers crossed I'll have this completed. And the nice thing is too, if you didn't want to use this as a coaster, you could use this as a wall hanging. That would work as well, depending on, you know, what you're wanting to do with it, because I think this piece lends itself to a lot of different possibilities as far as how you can work with it, how you could use it when all is said and done. Anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you for coming along for the ride. Comment below what you think, what you might have done differently, if you'd have added the glass pieces or not. And I guess that's about it. So thank you for joining me again. Have a great day. Take care and bye for now.